My name is Emily Ross. I'm 27, recently single, new to this neighborhood in Portland, Oregon. I moved here after my 5-year relationship collapsed like a sandcastle in the tide. I'd lost my partner, my home, my sense of direction. I didn't know if I was running away from the past or desperately chasing a future that didn't exist. When I moved in, they were the first people who smiled at me. Lucas and Amanda Bennett, the couple next door, the kind that looked like their lives were always wrapped in warm lighting and laughter. They were the kind of neighbors that waved every morning, left cookies on your doorstep during holidays, and said things like, "If you ever need anything, we're right here." One afternoon while I was unloading groceries, Amanda appeared with her perfect golden retriever energy. Movie night at our place Friday, just us. Chill vibes, snacks, something lighthearted, she said with her bright voice. I hesitated. I wasn't ready to socialize. I still had that constant heaviness in my chest. But then she smiled and said, "You shouldn't be alone all weekend," and I caved. Friday arrived. I spent too long picking an outfit, not because I wanted to impress anyone, but because I didn't want to seem broken. I walked over with a bottle of cheap wine I'd bought on discount. Amanda greeted me like we were best friends, hugging me a little too tightly. Lucas nodded warmly. For a while, it actually felt nice, safe even. We sat on their gray sectional couch. Fairy lights glowed softly around the room. They'd made popcorn, nachos, and brownies like I mattered. The movie started. I laughed when they laughed. I tried to forget my pain for just one night. Halfway in, Amanda stood up. "I'll grab more popcorn." "Lucas, help me?" "Sure," he said, following her into the kitchen. I stayed on the couch, scrolling through my phone absent-mindedly, until I heard my name. At first, I wasn't listening. Then their voices became clearer. "She's so dramatic," Amanda said, her voice softer but edged with amusement. "Crying about her ex like she didn't see it coming." Lucas chuckled. "I know. She always talks about how she felt betrayed. Like, girl, everyone gets dumped." I froze. Amanda whispered, still giggling. "Seriously, she gives sad puppy energy. I mean, we only invited her because she looks so lonely. It's kinda entertaining." My heart started pounding. Then Lucas added, "She's probably sitting there right now wondering how to impress us." I feel bad, but she's sort of pathetic. A hot sting burned behind my eyes. They weren't done. Amanda sighed with fake sympathy. "Yeah, but playing the hurt girl card gets her attention. She needs people to feel sorry for her. That's her entire personality now." I felt something cold settle in my chest. They walked back in smiling like nothing had happened. Amanda plopped down beside me, nudging me playfully. "You good? Still awake?" I nodded. I didn't speak. The rest of the movie passed, like a blur. My ears buzzed with their words. Pathetic. Entertaining. Attention seeker. Sad puppy. They didn't know I'd heard them. Maybe a part of me wished they had, so I wouldn't have to pretend anymore. When the credits rolled, Amanda said cheerfully, "Sleep over next time?" I gave a small smile. "I should go. Early morning tomorrow." I stood up. My legs shook slightly, but I kept my head high. I thanked them politely. I even smiled. Their faces relaxed, believing I was clueless. I walked home in silence. No tears, no shaking breaths, just silence. But something inside me shifted. I had walked into that house as someone broken but trying to heal. Someone who believed in human kindness, even when fragile. I walked out as someone different. Someone who now knew that even smiling faces could hide sharp knives. I locked my door behind me and sat on the floor of my dimly lit living room, staring at nothing. The hurt came in slow, like water filling a sinking boat. The betrayal wasn't like my breakup. This one cut differently because this time I wasn't romantically involved. I had simply trusted, believed, hoped. I whispered to myself, they were never kind. They were entertained. And that night I made a quiet promise. Never again would I let fake kindness disguise itself as care. Little did I know, this silent exit wasn't the end. It was the beginning of something they never saw coming. The next morning, the sun rose like nothing had changed. But I didn't cry. I didn't overthink. I didn't replay their words again and again like I normally would. Instead, there was this cold clarity in me, a strange calmness. I got up, showered, made coffee, like someone playing a role in a movie where emotions were muted. I didn't check my phone. I didn't scroll through social media. I didn't wait for notifications that never came. I just started doing things differently. Over the next week, I stopped waving when Lucas and Amanda tried their usual cheerful greetings. I didn't respond to their "Hey girl" or "Movie night this Friday" messages. I didn't make excuses. I just didn't answer. And I didn't owe them anything anymore, especially not an explanation. Instead, I poured my time into something I had abandoned when I was with my ex, writing. I used to write stories, raw, honest stories about pain and healing. But somewhere along the way, between heartbreak and loneliness, I'd convinced myself my words didn't matter. Now suddenly, they did again. Every night after work, I sat at my desk and poured my emotions into stories. Stories about betrayal, about pretending, about neighbors with fake smiles, about quiet heartbreaks. I turned my pain into words, my words into strength, and people started reading them. I posted one anonymous short story titled, "The Night I Heard Them Laugh." It went viral on a storytelling app. Thousands of comments poured in from people who related, people who were betrayed by fake friends, people who felt seen through my words. I wasn't just healing. I was connecting, growing, rising. By month 2, I had 50,000 followers. A small indie publisher messaged me, asking if I'd consider writing a book. I hesitated, but then I said yes, while Lucas and Amanda were busy hosting weekend wine and gossip nights. I was building something silent but powerful. They noticed my absence slowly. At first, Amanda texted, "Hey, haven't seen you around. Are we okay?" I didn't reply. Then Lucas waved one morning. I nodded politely but didn't smile. His face shifted in confusion. By week 3, Amanda knocked on my door with cookies again. I opened it halfway. "Hey, haven't seen you in forever. Everything good?" she asked. "I'm fine," I said calmly. "You've been quiet. Did something happen?" I looked straight into her eyes, voice steady. "Sometimes silence is just self-protection," I said. "But don't worry, I'm not lonely anymore." Her expression froze, like she didn't fully understand, but part of her knew. I closed the door gently. That night, I finished the final chapter of my book. Silent exits hurt the loudest. 6 months later, the book was published. It didn't become globally famous, but it became big enough. Top charts in emotional drama. Readers praised the raw truth. My face was now on small book blogs, podcasts, and local writing events. I was invited to speak at a cozy downtown Portland bookstore about betrayal and healing. I walked in wearing a soft beige coat and confidence I never had before. As I stepped onto the small stage, my heart beat fast, but in a good way. When I started speaking, I noticed 2 familiar figures sitting near the back, Lucas and Amanda. Their eyes widened slightly when they saw me holding the microphone. They hadn't known. I'd turned my silence into something stronger than confrontation. They hadn't known that the girl they mocked had rebuilt herself from the inside out. After my talk, people lined up to have their books signed. When Amanda and Lucas approached, Amanda spoke first. "Emily, your story, was it about us?" I placed my pen down, meeting her gaze. I smiled, not bitterly but peacefully. "It was about people who pretend to care," I said, "but also about someone who finally stopped seeking approval from them." She swallowed. Lucas looked at the floor. "You should have told us you heard," Amanda whispered. "I didn't need to," I replied softly. "You already said everything I needed to know." Silence. Heavy. Guilty. Amanda tried again. "We didn't mean—" "It's okay," I interrupted kindly. "You were just being yourselves. And I learned not everyone who smiles is safe." They left quietly, just like I once had. Only this time, they were the ones who felt small. Later that night, I walked home beneath the streetlights, the crisp air filling my lungs with a sense of freedom. I wasn't the broken girl they pitied. I was the woman they underestimated. I didn't destroy them. I didn't expose them. I simply outgrew them. And that was enough.